Hi guys, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be trying a chapter of 5 random books. So I have seen people try chapters of different books before on YouTube, and I always find them quite fun to read, so I wanted to give it a go, but I wanted to do it for 5 random books on my shelves. So I've come up with a plan. I've done some organising, so I've numbered each of my shelves, and the plan is to roll a d20 to select a shelf, and then I'm going to be rolling a d4 to choose the 10, 20, 30, but for this the 4 is going to be 0, so if I roll a 4 then it's going to start with 0, if you know what I mean. And then to choose the book I'm also going to roll a d10, and this will choose the final number. So say if I roll 4 and that doesn't work. Say if I roll a 4 and a 6 is book 6, or if I roll a 2 and a 6 it's 26, and that's how I'm gonna randomise the book choice, and we're gonna go from there. And the plan is to choose one of these books, and I will try and read it by probably not the end of April, but by the end of May. I will add it to my TBR and get it finished in the next month. And if there are more that I want to read, then great, I will cram them in as well. But the goal is to find one book that I will add. So yeah, let's see what books we get and hopefully get some good picks. So I'm going to do the rolls now, choose the books, and then I will go away, read the chapters and update you once I've done. So the first roll is 5, so shelf 5, and then for our book, so we've got 2, so I'm making that 20, 21, so shelf 5, book 21. Okay, so this is gonna get a little bit janky. I've got this on freehand, but yeah, we're just gonna go. First was shelf 5, 21, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down on one of my fantasy shelves, and it's 21, so we're just going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And we've got the Last Wish, book 1 in the, well, book 0.5 in the Witcher series. For the second book we've got 20, so shelf 20. And book 19. For the second roll we got 20, so this is one of the sides of my book trolley, and we got 19. This is actually more than the number of books I've got on here, because what I did is I chose the highest number of books on a shelf and went with that just so we weren't falling under. So what I'll do is I'll just keep counting and looping back. So yeah, let's see what we've got. We've got 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And we've got The Watchers by Neil Spring. For book 3 we've got shelf 9 and book 31. So for the third book we got shelf 9 and 31, so this is we landed on one of my vampire shelves, so yeah, let's get counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And we've got Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. For book 4 we've got shelf 4 and book 36. For roll 4 we got shelf 4, and this is
kind of a retelling shelf, but then I've got some random stuff on here. So we want book 36, so let's get counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. And I have read Cinderella is Dead, so we're going to go to this book, and I haven't read this one, so this will be the book that we read. And we've got This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. And for our last book, book 5, we've got Shelf 10, book 29. And for the final roll, roll 5, we ended up on my middle grade shelf, and our number is 29, so let's see what book we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And we have Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. Okay, so these are all the books that the dice picked out for me. I think I got really lucky with this stack. The Witcher and Amari and the Night Brothers were on my most anticipated reads list, so hopefully they should be good. We did get one book off the book trolley, so possibly if I'm not drawn in by the first chapter I might unhaul, but we'll see. And then This Poison Heart I hauled not too long ago, so I'm excited for that since I enjoyed Cinderella is Dead. And Interview with a Vampire, I've heard a few good things floating around recently. I think there's been a few read-alongs going on for this. So yeah, let's see what I think. Okay, so I've just finished the first chapter of The Last Wish. Well, not quite the first chapter, because this is a bind-up of like short stories. Each of the chapters within those are very, very short. So I read the opening bit, so I read like the opening page, which sort of like was just a dream that Geralt was having when this lady visited him in his sleep. And then I read the next 2 parts of the first story. So in the first part we follow Geralt of Rivia, who's a witcher, and he sort of goes around slaying demons and beasts in exchange for money. So we find him in an inn trying to get a room there for the night, but nobody wants him around because of where he's from, and he starts a kind of brawl, or there's a fight, and then he's taken by the city guards and he asks to speak to someone in charge. So he goes and talks to this man in his office or somewhere like that. Well, not office because it's in a fantasy world, but he goes on to there, and then in the second part they have a discussion about this, not a bounty, about this job that the king has advertised throughout the land, and he wants someone to come and do a task for him. And this is because he had the king had a relationship with his sister, got her pregnant, and apparently when she gave birth, the child was so frightening that the midwives jumped out the tower and killed themselves, and the mother died on the childbed. So this child was buried within the palace, and then since then, about 7 years later, on a full moon, this creature who they've named the Striga, has emerged and is starting to kill anyone in the palace and wanted to eat and destroy things. And so the king has put out an advertisement to try and get someone to, I think, disenchant or like return the child back to its original form, and he's offering a prize for this. But the person who Geralt is talking to currently just wants that creature killed because it's killing the people that live in the town and stuff like that. So we've reached a point where Geralt has agreed to take on the task of killing this creature, And yeah, that's kind of where we left off. He's gonna head off to the palace where it resides, well, the abandoned palace, and go from there. And yeah, I really enjoyed these first couple of bits. It's really intriguing. I can't wait to see what happens, if this creature will end up being killed, or if he'll somehow find a way to transform her back into a human being. I don't know, but I'm very invested, and it's quite fast paced, and I'm loving the fantasy medieval atmosphere. It's really great. So yeah, I enjoyed what I've read of this one so far. Okay, so I've just finished the first chapter of The Watchers, and I am very confused so far. A lot has happened. So we open up with a report in the 1970s, written by the advisor to the Prime Minister, and he recounts and he's making note of when Mr. Wilding came to see the Prime Minister about a case file that he has, and about this weird event that happened. And it sounds like there were aliens involved. I'm not sure. That was just how it opened. Really strange. And then we go on to like the actual chapter, 16 years previously, where we follow, I think he's called Robert, the main character, Robert Wildling, who was there earlier, before, when he is having to move in with his grandfather on the farm because his parents have been killed. His grandfather is crazy, also, he thinks. He keeps going on about fires in the skies and these giants called Watchers, who, if you look at them, they will kill you, and he's like, they're gonna come back, so we need to be ready. And yeah, it was very weird. The chapter ended where we get the main character going to bed, and then he's woken up in the night by knocks on the door to the farmhouse, and then there's this guy in a suit, which he's described as having white waxy skin, and his grandfather gets really freaked out about it and was like, get away, get away. So they escape, and then later on there's loads more knocking, and then more of these guys arrive with like shotguns and binoculars and stuff. So I have no idea what's happening at all. I guess that's the point, it's only the first chapter. But I'm kind of intrigued. I'm a little bit intrigued. Not enough to carry on reading now or even to pick it up anytime soon. But I'm definitely going to give this one a shot before I unhaul, which is good. Okay, so I finished the first chapter of Interview with the Vampire, and since this was the longest chapter that I've read so far, I feel like the least amount of stuff happened in this one. So we're following a vampire, and his name is Louis, I think is what I've gathered from this, and he is being interviewed by a boy, a journalist, and he is telling his tale to this boy so he can record it. And so he lets him know how he became a vampire, how he was turned by the vampire Lestat, who turned him, and like his first kill, and learning to feed and stuff like that. And yeah, it was quite long and not too much happened. I don't know if the pacing is gonna speed up as we go in, and since this is just an introduction. But yeah, so far I think this was the most boring chapter that I've read so far, because it was really long for, like I said, the amount of content. But I am a little bit intrigued. But yeah, I'm probably least intrigued to pick this one back up again anytime soon. So I've just finished the first chapter of This Poison Heart, and I gotta say I'm really intrigued so far, and it already seems really, really magical. We are following our main character, and she has magical powers, so she can make like plants grow and stuff, and she works at a I think a flower shop with her mum, helps her do the like floral arrangements and stuff, and one of her regular customers comes in to get a rose bouquet done for his wife's grave, and the flowers haven't arrived, so she goes out the back, takes the remaining flower, and then puts it into the soil, and then makes the new flowers grow from that, which was really cool. And the plants also respond to her emotions as well. So like the ivy and plants in her room, when she gets upset it all responds and reacts, which is kind of interesting. And yeah, it's an urban fantasy. Our main character is going to high school and trying to get her grades to go on. I think it's American and I'm in the UK, so like to progress I think probably onto college, probably an equivalent of university here. But she's not doing very well in anything that isn't environmental sciences. But she's really invested in helping her mum and stuff, and she doesn't know much about her magic. So yeah, her mum is kind of concerned. She knows about the magic and doesn't want her to push herself too far, in case she gets hurt. And it was really interesting, also mentioned an incident when she ate a load of poisonous berries, because another girl dared her to, and they both did it, but she didn't end up with any of the symptoms. So it seems like our main character is also immune to poisons as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go because I have no idea where it's going to go next. I don't know, because it seems pretty mundane apart from the whole plant growing magic thing. So yeah, I have no idea, but I enjoyed it. So I finished the first chapter of Amari and the Night Brothers. In this chapter we're following Amari, and she's been sent to the principal's office because she's got into a dispute with another girl in her school. The girl was making jokes about her brother and saying how he's dead and stuff when he's gone missing, and Amari acted out on that. So she's in a lot of trouble, but her mum is there and has been really supportive and stuff, and so she's sent home, and she does some work on her laptop. I think it possibly might be her brother's laptop, or either way she now has access to her brother's emails because she's trying to find out what happened to him. She doesn't believe he's dead. So she's doing this to send out some more posters as well to get more people to look out for her brother, when she receives an email on her brother's account saying that a delivery is going to be on its way. And yeah, and then that email immediately disappears from the inbox, and then there's a knock at the door and there's a delivery. And that's kind of what happened in chapter 1. Very short, very speedy. Yeah, kind of intrigued to see where it goes. I kind of know a little bit about the plot for this one, so I kind of know where Amari's off to next in a way, but I can't wait to see how that plays out. So yeah, those are all the books that I've read. I'm just going to summarise my thoughts now. So I've just sorted through the books now, and I'm going to rank them based on first chapters alone. So the lowest books would be books that I didn't enjoy too much from the first chapter, and the books near the top would be like, oh, I really want to see where this is going and I want to pick this up soon. So in number 5 I've put Interview with the Vampire. I just thought this opening was really slow, and not too much happened really. I'm still going to pick it up at some point because I love vampires and I know this is a classic and so many people love the series as a whole. But yeah, it was just a bit slow, and from a first chapter it was just very, very mediocre. Close behind I've got The Watchers by Neil Spring. Yeah, again, just not too interested in it. A little bit more happened. I'm a little bit more intrigued to see what's happening with these creatures, and is the main character's granddad crazy, and yeah, seems to be some kind of sci-fi alien elements involved potentially. But yeah, it's still a bit confusing, this one. I don't really know what was going on, so I might pick it up again sometime soon, I might not. I'm still a bit not too fussed either way with this one. In third place I've got Amari and the Night Brothers. Now this one was an especially short chapter, so I'm wondering if maybe I read the second chapter as well, then this one might be higher because I've heard amazing things about this one, and I'm sure the action will kick in fairly soon with all the magic and stuff like that. But first chapters alone, I would definitely be intrigued to carry on, but not quite as much as the other books on this list. In second place, I've got This Poison Heart. I just loved that we got to see some of the magic and the plant magic straight away. diving straight in there with the main theme of this book, which is nice. Urban fantasy, which I love urban fantasies like Scuddlebury Pleasant and the Shadowhunter series and stuff like that. I love how the magic can be merged with the real world and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where this one goes, especially since there's no hint in the first chapter as to where it's going. So I'd be very intrigued to find out. But in first place I have The Last Wish, which is the 0.5, I think it's 0.5, so just before the first book in the Witcher series. I just really like how this fantasy world was set up with like the tavern brawl and then the introduction of a creature and just some backstory that's happened, and the fact that we've got Geralt of Rivia who's gonna now have to go and deal with this mess after he's now been told about it. And it just feels really cozy and really, I don't know, has those vibes that fantasy books gives me without being too complex, or at least so far it's reading quite easily for me. I'm not like struggling to follow along with the plot. And yeah, I'm just most intrigued by this one, but only just because the magic in this Poison Heart seems really, really intriguing. But overall, in terms of plot, I think I'm more invested in this one based on the opening alone. So those were all the books I read for my randomised try a chapter video. So because The Witcher got top spot for me, I will try and get this one read, if not by the end of April, by the end of May, to see if I was right based on first chapter alone and what my thoughts are of the book overall. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a bit chaotic. I'm hoping maybe to do this one again, I know, in a couple months time, maybe, I don't know, in the summer sometime, when I'm hoping to do this again at some point with another set of 5 books, especially when I don't have too many book group books and stuff going on, because it's just a fun way to pull books off my shelf and get them read, which is nice. But yeah, that's it for today. Let me know down below if you've read any of these and what did you think of them. But until the next time, bye!